I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all, in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Whoa!
Portland, Oregon, the location for SmackDown tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris Best, bringing you the SmackDown Security Detail. Of course, Wade Barrett, Joe Tessitore at ringside, doing the commentary as they were moved from Raw. Yeah, right now, Tiffany Stratton making her way into the arena tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura will be defending his United States Championship tonight against LA Knight. As we are looking at him making his way into the arena tonight. Paul Heyman is in the house too. Wonder what's on his mind. It looks like maybe Paul Heyman's making his way to the ring. I can't really tell. But let's take a look at what happened on Raw last Monday night here, as they are showing the first Raw to air on Netflix. It was a very hot show on Monday night, that's for damn sure. Just as last night, Thursday night, in my hometown, the CWE was in town and they put on a killer show last night. Right. We've got Pete coming in saying, bet they don't show Hogan getting booed, LOL. You know what? Well, it's hard to tell if they're going to show Hogan getting booed or not, or even if they're even going to show Hogan on TV at all. And of course, we are looking at the clips from Raw. They're showing the tribal battle that happened on Monday. And we got Paul Heyman in the ring. Let's take a look at what he has to say. Ooh, Paul Heyman coming in saying he's got some news for Cody Rhodes regarding Roman Reigns, and the American Nightmare is now making his way to to the ring right now. I'm really curious as to what this news is. Cody Rhodes coming out dressed to the nines as per usual with his championship in hand. Let's take a listen to see what this news is. Unbelievable. Roman Reigns has just announced his intentions. Well, Paul Heyman has announced Roman Reigns' intentions on entering and winning the Royal Rumble and going to WrestleMania to fight what could be Cody Rhodes, I'm going to say, because we don't know if he's going to win at the Royal Rumble or not. We don't know if he's going to win at Elimination Chamber. Hell, we don't even know if he's going to win whenever he defends the title. But let's take a listen to see what Cody has to say about this. Or what Kevin Owens has to say about this. Oh, Cody. I mean, KO spouting some his truths about how Cody betrayed KO by making friends with Roman, so to speak, shaking hands with The Rock on Monday, shaking hands with Paul Heyman, and Cody's just like, I've had enough, and now they're fighting. Oh, geez. Right now, Paul Heyman is in a lot of trouble right now. Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu cornering Paul Heyman in that ring right now. Bubba, you are right. This is pretty cool what's going on right now. But here comes the cavalry to help out. Oh, it's only Jimmy. But Jimmy doing, obviously whatever he can to make sure, Paul Heyman is safe. Oh, excuse me. But right now, now Jacob Fatu taking down Jimmy. I gotta wonder. At first, I was gonna say, "Who the heck is that running in the ring?" But it was one of the referees who just got his head kicked off by Jacob Fatu right now. Oh, Cody trying to make his way back to the ring right now. Oh, now we got Nick Aldis out there. Something tells me we're going to get a tag team match, possibly with Jimmy Uso and Cody Rhodes taking on Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, maybe. But yeah, just as the announcer said, it wild start to the show tonight as we are going to commercial break, or we're going to take a look at a commercial for Raw. Yeah, this Monday we're going to be seeing the finals for the Women's Intercontinental title. And now we are at commercial break. But yeah, that was a very, very explosive start to the show. A lot of volatile situations going on right now over on SmackDown there with the Kevin Owens Cody Rhodes thing. Now we've got Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga trying to, I guess, restore the honor of Solo, you could say, by attacking Jimmy, and then Cody coming out to make the coming back out to make the save. I kind of thought we were going to see Sami Zayn come out there and make the save. Yeah, the commercial breaks we get on on NXT or NXT on Netflix are a little bit all we're seeing is like the shots of the wrestlers just doing various poses, and that's about it. OMD has joined the show. Brother, how we doing?
Good evening, Mr. Best. How we doing?
I'm going to assume you can't hear me because I just asked how you were doing.
No, my plug had come out, so no, I didn't hear you. But I am doing very well. Good to be here for our Netflix debut here with SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we're getting ready for the Women's United States Championship match.
Oh, okay.
Michin is challenging Chelsea Green. And I'm not going to do the voice like Parrish because I can't.
No. More importantly, I got to ask, and I know we talked a little bit last night, how are you feeling after your excitement last night?
Oh, my throat is still a bit shot, so I've got some cold water that I'm drinking. I was going to make some iced tea this afternoon, but I just didn't get around to it. I couldn't find my kettle to do it, so.
Right.
Oh wow, they even Chelsea's coming out like pretty much dressed to the nines, but so is Piper Niven right now.
Yes, yes, she is.
Did you happen to catch the opening segment?
I did not. All I saw in the end was Cody standing off in the ring. I have literally been in the door for all of 6 minutes.
It was explosive. So
I will watch it right after the show.
Well, you probably will get spoiled during the show anyways.
Oh, more than likely.
Because we have another entrant to the Royal Rumble.
Okay, well, I will again wait and find that out. I am digging those new ref shirts.
I am actually digging that with the United States women's title, they do not have the one side longer than the other. My OCD is happy about that.
Right?
The sad thing about this match is I don't expect Michin to win.
No, me neither.
I would love her to win. But
No.
I kind of feel like the way that I feel like the way this match is going to end is with Chelsea taking the win via maybe some kind of nefarious action. Maybe Piper Niven does something. Or maybe Chelsea takes a walk and gets a count out.
Right.
And then Michin demands a rematch. Maybe it happens at Saturday night's main event. Maybe it happens at the Royal Rumble.
Right. I can officially confirm for you that Friday night, February 28th, I will be live at Scotiabank Arena for SmackDown Live.
Cool. Oh, that's going to be a match that I'm looking forward to. Pretty Deadly and Los Garza having a match tonight.
Yes. Oh,
Motor City Machine Guns against A-Town Down Under.
I can get behind that.
I mean, this is all what we're going to get with that move to 3 hours for SmackDown. We're going to get I kind of figured we were going to get a deeper look at the tag team division on SmackDown, and the SmackDown tag team division is booming right now.
Yes, it is. Good evening, Bubba. I just saw your messages here. Thank you. Yes, I cannot wait for now the end of February.
I cannot wait for the beginning of March because I'm still going to Our Lady Peace.
Right?
That's going to be a busy weekend for me, by the way.
Yes, especially because that's the same weekend as I'm at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, but here at home, I'm going to be doing the PLE Patrol, SmackDown Security Detail, and then that show.
Yep. Is the concert not on the same night as the Elimination Chamber?
No, it's on the Sunday after.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's the same ad or the same not ad, but the same pause
Mm-hmm.
as I came in on.
Yeah, except this time around they're showing different wrestlers.
Yeah, because I didn't see Pretty Deadly earlier or Santos, and now Randy. So
Yeah.
and I am going to presume that at some point tonight we are going to hear from Roman Reigns.
We already did.
Oh, okay.
Through Paul Heyman. I'm just going to leave it at that. What I am looking forward to hearing from is that woman on our screen right now, Nia Jax.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to, because Tiffany is supposed to be showing up.
of course.
And of course, she's going to parade around with her championship.
Of course.
I kind of expect Nia Jax to have an answer for what happened. And of course, we already saw Cody tonight.
Right.
I don't think we're done with him though tonight either.
No,
at the same time.
likely.
Because I have a feeling for our main event, we're going to get tag team action with Cody.
Okay.
Because as you saw, Cody was standing tall over the ring. He was standing tall because of what Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga had done.
Okay. Yeah. See, all I literally saw was Cody in the ring as it went to the commercial break.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anything that was said. I didn't see anything that potentially happened.
Okay, I see like what looks like loose laces on Michin's boot, and it's kind of bugging me.
Oh, jeez.
You know, all through the tournament and even during this match, I tend to forget just how good Chelsea Green actually is in the ring. It's mostly because I'm used to like her being in essentially a manager position when it comes to Piper Niven, at least wrestling, right?
Right. And now we're getting those roles reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got Piper Niven dressed to the nines, very reminiscent of a Bobby Heenan type outfit.
I was going to also say $1 Million Man. He wore sparkly outfits in the 80s. But yeah, I see where you're coming from with the Bobby Heenan, because he wore an outfit. No, it wasn't WrestleMania 3. He wore the white and gold outfit at that night. But he wore, I want to say maybe WrestleMania 4 or 5, he may have worn an outfit similar to that.
Right.
I'm gonna say 5 because like he managed like 5 people that night and then fucking wrestled a match against the Red Rooster.
Right. I remember for the big ones, he always had the sparkly jacket on, but when it was, Superstars or Wrestling Challenge, or he was doing the commentary, he always had like the plain the
plain
plain black jacket
with his initials emblazoned on it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I knew it. I knew Piper was going to try and get involved.
Well, yeah.
She's got to add a little bit more speed to that senton, or that roll off the apron there. Or okay, Chelsea's going to win that way.
Yep.
She grabbed the tights, so that still means that Michin could use that to her advantage to get a rematch.
I was waiting for somebody to come out from behind Chelsea or somebody's music to hit that she wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's clear that this feud is far from over.
Yeah, and I mean, given that it's a continuation of their feud from mid to late last year, and then all of a sudden back to the finals, and now they're trying to build a new feud. I got to say this. I think it's time for that to come to an end.
I don't think it is. Because you've just injected the United States title into this feud. Now it's something new that they're fighting over, instead of pride, they're fighting over a championship,
Yeah, but I think it's, between these two feuds that have run almost simultaneous, I think it's time to, one more match and put a wrap on it.
I think you mean concurrently, because simultaneous means they're at the same time.
Consecutively, not concurrently.
Concurrent also works in that sentence.
Concurrent would mean at the same time as well.
Oh, yeah, and it's a two-man commentary team. No Corey Graves on the show.
I saw that. Apparently, Corey Graves has been moved over to NXT again.
Well, hopefully he takes over Booker T.
Apparently, it's going to be a three-man team.
Well, he'll outshine Booker T then.
Well, but that's not really all that hard.
That's what she said. Wes Garza and Pretty Deadly. This is going to be an entertaining match for sure. And commercial break.
Yes, this match will be highly entertaining. Again, I'm still not used to SmackDown being 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Well, get used to it because this is my second week with a 3-hour SmackDown.
It's mine. Mine too. No, I wasn't here last week because I had Shane an extra night.
That's right. Okay, so see that I can get behind, but this I'm starting to get annoyed at.
Right.
I kind of like the idea of promoting the WWE shop. Why not use these 3-minute breaks where you can promote maybe upcoming movies to Netflix? What's in store for the WWE on Netflix? Like
Right.
what events are
I
coming maybe next month?
and I don't see a point in these being 3 minutes.
Well, that's about how long commercial breaks normally are. Well, I like the fact that this time around we're getting like highlights of some of the things the wrestlers do.
Yep.
Speaking of highlights, we've got the highlight himself, Chris Parrish, making his run in.
You call this a highlight?
Yes.
Well, somebody had to save the show. You can't do that when you start the fire. If you can't handle the flame.
Oh, I know, but I don't think you're saving the show.
Well, I mean, we'll let the audience be a judge of that.
Yes.
How are we all doing?
Doing
Very
really
well.
good. Parrish, what have you caught of the show so far? Anything?
I saw that Chelsea Green is still your women's world United States champion. Yeah, that's right. I said world United States. Sue me. And then I saw that the 2 tag team matches will be happening between Los Garza and good old fashioned.
Pretty deadly.
Yeah, I'm just shaking my head at some of these ads. But then you have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory going up against the Machine Guns. I saw that.
Yeah. Those are going to be fantastic tag matches. I'm calling that right now.
Well, of course. Because now we're at a commercial break for the good old people in the United States.
Yep.
But for
us, we're just seeing highlights, essentially.
It's not really even highlights. It's just like
Clips.
Watching superstars do their entrances or occasional poses.
Mm-hmm. And I was just remarking to OMD that these could get a little bit on the boring side. They should. I wouldn't mind if they did like commercials for upcoming movies movies coming to Netflix or WWE stuff that's coming to Netflix.
Well, yeah, but I mean it's the first week, so let's be patient on it. I'm sure like over time we'll get more updated stuff. I'm sure maybe we'll get stuff from past episodes where it's like, hey, oh yeah, remember when this happened? Like if you got your little flashbacks, would be a great time to do that. Or even highlights from, hey, in case you missed it, here's what happened last week. You know how we get that little banner at the bottom with this is what happened in the show?
Yeah.
We'll get maybe a visual thing of it on these.
Mm-hmm. And right off the get-go, we're getting tag team action here.
Mm-hmm.
one has to wonder with these two tag team matches that there's got to be some kind of a number one contendership implications out of these matches for sure.
Not only that, my secondary add-on to that would be whatever teams don't come out victorious, you have to wonder with the earlier comment about the transfer window from Grayson Waller, perhaps maybe the teams that do not succeed could be finding new homes on Monday nights.
Right. With this match, based on what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, are Los Garza wrestling as the babyface tag team in this? Or are they trying to do a face turn for Legado?
I think we're seeing more of how the crowd maybe takes on Pretty Deadly, because I think they're more of that neutral role. Some people find them entertaining.
Right.
I guess we'll kind of see, but right now it looks like they're the ones controlling the match, and they're more on that heel side of this, although it's very confusing what's going on right now.
Yeah, lately I've been getting more babyface vibes off Pretty Deadly than Los Garza.
But, I mean, who knows? There could be just experimental phases going on with both teams right now.
Right.
Because, again, like with Legado and Los Garza, like you just don't know what other factions are going to be on. Like if hypothetically, if Judgment Day moves over to SmackDown or they move over to Raw, I mean, I'd be kind of interested in seeing a little bit of faction feeds between those two.
Right.
Especially with Dominic Mysterio involvement and how he easily could be persuaded to join Legado.
Yep.
Well, and also Raquel Rodriguez.
Yep. And back to our 3-minute ad break.
Did somebody say 3 minutes?
I did.
Very nice.
Bubba saying Dixie is loving this, but not the ads. Well, it's getting to be just as quick already as it was on regular TV for these.
Yeah, but like it goes also to show you how many commercials we actually were getting.
Yep.
And I think at some point too, you're kind of wondering like, oh man, like did we actually have that many commercials? The answer was yes. Yes, we did.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about back to the time, I believe it was me and you, Parrish, when we hosted Raw Patrol, and we actually counted how many commercial breaks happened throughout the show. I think we ended up with like 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that count. I do remember doing that, though.
So, Parrish, as I informed Mr. Best earlier and Bubba Duke caught, it is official that on Friday, February 28th, I will be live at SmackDown in Toronto.
Nice. So that means we are both going to a SmackDown in February.
Yes. And we're both going...
Actually, no, that's not true because I guess it's January 31st is the SmackDown.
Yep. And mine's February 28th. So mine's the last day of February. And we're both hitting a PLE on the 1st of the next month.
Yeah. Well, that means we're both going to a SmackDown on the last day of a month, too.
Yes. So who's going to Mexico for Backlash?
I mean, I'd say Carl. We'll just throw it all on Carl.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That would be a very interesting show.
Yes. As I think now would be the Royal Rumble 2026 in Riyadh.
That one could be you.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah. No, too late. We're sending you there.
Okay.
It's on your dime, though.
Yep.
No, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to. We're going to make it.
You can talk to HR.
There's HR for this?
They're busy, though. They'll get back to you in about a year or so.
Oh, okay.
But you're going.
And we're back to the action here.
Is it just me, or does Hector Garza kind of look like Nathan Frazier in a weird way? Like when you don't see his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely he looks like a Spanish version of Nathan
Yeah.
Frazier. That's okay. Sometimes I think Berto looks like Justin Gabriel.
Yeah. I can see it.
I mean, I think I'm going to assume Pretty Deadly's going to win this based on kind of the fact that I expect the Machine Guns to win their match and have that heel. Just
That
have that
heel
dynamic.
dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can actually get behind that.
But then also part of me would like to see DIY interrupt that, make it a triple threat match only to have Pretty Deadly be the team that comes out with the title. I think that'd be funny.
What I'm liking about this match is that it's clear now that both teams are working heel, and I'm kind of liking that dynamic.
Right?
Well, Los Garza is working more babyface, but I mean, they're also working that in between role. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, as we just saw Santos with the pull down off the top rope for Legato.
Okay.
Mhm.
I can get behind that win.
I do too. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen it enough, probably with the Judgment Day, where they have the numbers and they just don't come out victorious. It just makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that the group with the number advantage actually is going up. Like I know the Bloodline would always do that, but
Yeah.
it seems like outside of them, it wasn't always a thing, or at least a guaranteed.
Yeah, and it honestly feels like it's been a long time since we've seen Los Garza even win a match.
Yeah, it has.
But it's also been a long time since Pretty Deadly's won a match too, or even had a match.
Yeah.
So this kind of makes me wonder if Pretty Deadly are going to go over to Raw, to be quite honest.
Bubba coming in asking, who is Zilla Fatu's dad?
Umaga's his dad.
The late Umaga, Bubba.
No, based on the fact that Umaga sadly passed away, this sounds like a role for Mr. Christian Cage to get behind.
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh. U.S. title match coming up next.
Yeah. Just happened to be the shirt that was right there.
I think LA Knight needs to change his colors from red and yellow so that he doesn't get booed out of the building.
Oh, he won't get booed out of the building.
No, I know.
Yeah, he has black in there. He has the colors of Brace for Impact. All right.
He's
representing the show, so maybe
cut him some slack there, OMD.
Yeah. As he is a former Impact champion.
He is.
No, same thing with the Women's U.S. Championship. I do not expect a title change in this match.
No.
No, but at the same time, I wouldn't hate it if it did happen.
Neither would I.
Nah. I mean, some of these don't look too bad, but I kind of wish there was a little bit more to them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it will get pretty old.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, when the WWE Network kind of started out, they did have reoccurring graphics, reoccurring videos that they always did. And then after kind of things really started getting going, we started seeing that updation and the updated stuff and just new stuff. So
I mean, who knows? They may even eliminate this for the people watching on Netflix around the world, and may do what they did on Raw and give us the live action while everybody gets the commercials.
That would be cool. I know that's what I got. Like when I watched NXT on Tuesday night after the original airing, that's what I got. It was literally that black screen for a second or two and then back to action.
Yeah, it's because they edited out these parts.
Yeah.
yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see kind of what adaptions are made moving forward. But I mean, needless to say, it's not like this is, brutal by any means. It's just going to be one of those things where, if you get the same thing over and over again, you're just going to be like, yeah, don't care about it.
Yeah. Bubba saying thank you. He is explaining everything from our world to Dixie. So.
So, this is where Bobby Stats needs to get here, so they could just have a in chat.
Yeah.
And Nakamura making his way to the ring.
Yes. Does anybody else think an updated version of Yokozuna's music would be fitting for Shinsuke?
No, because then it wouldn't be Shinsuke. It would be Yoko.
Yeah,
let me return to this. Had Kurt Angle came in, did his career, then the Patriot was to come in and use Kurt Angle's music. Would you not be against that?
When I heard the Patriot using Kurt Angle's music, I was, because I'm like, why is he using Angle's music?
Kurt Angle used the Patriots' music. The Patriot came before Kurt Angle.
And now American Made is using it in an updated version.
No, it's actually a different song.
It's completely different.
It's actually different. Just sounds similar. But yeah, no, like that's the thing though. I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying?
I'm agreeing with you.
But no, like I get what you're saying, but like I don't know. If there was more of a correlation between Shinsuke and Yoko, I think that would make sense. That's just me, my
right.
Yeah, I like that they just took his, we'll say his babyface theme and just made it like a darker tone, you know?
Right.
Well, it's original theme. You can just like the original version of it. I mean, they did the same thing when he turned heel, and he was getting that. He got the Japanese lyrics with it.
Yeah.
And then they had that for a bit, and then they went back. So like, it's kind of, I don't know, gives you a good little story of Shinsuke's career just through the evolution of his theme song.
I do like the side plates they have for Shinsuke on his title, though.
I think I liked more when everyone had like the gold plates, but with the black kind of like designs instead of the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Just looks more complimentary to the actual title, I think.
Shinsuke looking a little bit taller in this new attire as well.
I'm actually glad he's not wearing a one piece for his outfit.
Right?
I wonder if he has the same thing but inverted, as in like the red pants but and a black top.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the red top.
I gotta say, I like that top-down angle shot that they've been using. Gotta say, I'm liking that LA Knight's wrestling like he's got a chip on his shoulder. He really wants to reclaim his U.S. title tonight.
Yep.
Opposed to?
I don't know how to answer that, really.
This would be the one match where I kind of feel if they go without settling a winner, and maybe they do something where it's a throwaway, non-finish, some doesn't get settled, I wouldn't be against a final encounter at Saturday night's main event.
Right.
Where it's just a stip match, winner becomes the champion, kind of something that speculating on what that stip is. It really could be anything, but just have that kind of end things. Then they can go on to the Rumble.
Yeah.
Fresh slate. Then you're going and figuring out what's kind of next for both men.
Well, and I've got a very funny feeling that this match is going to get thrown out because I think you're going to get the interference, whether it's Andrade, whoever else it may be. That
I would even throw Carmelo and Andrade kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't know if you really want to go and play that back.
I don't. But again, do we potentially get somebody who's coming over in the transfer window?
Yeah.
Or do we potentially see a returning AJ Styles in this situation who's got history with both men?
AJ's still down for a little while, from what I understand.
This would be the one time where I actually wouldn't even be upset if like somebody like Solo would even get back into it, or even Jacob Fatu,
right?
Tama Tonga, even like somebody from that like it would be a real fresh face in that division. Not to mention Jacob Fatu versus an LA Knight would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did Tama Tonga. I'm actually really, I know a lot of people are high on Jacob Fatu as they should be, but I think kind of that one person that could break away and have a very good outing is Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Tama Tonga is kind of like what he's kind of like what is to SmackDown as Ludwig Kaiser is to Raw at the current.
Right.
That's how I think I'd put it.
Hell, even if, since we're talking about the transfer window, I wouldn't be opposed to Ludwig Kaiser getting involved in the U.S. title scene.
You have to wonder if kind of that's if they'd have him on SmackDown.
Yeah. What about, again, in this situation, another guy that they are repackaging again, but what about a Giovanni Vinci?
I think I would need to see a little bit more out of him. I mean, I'm not counting him out or anything, but
Right.
Well, I mean, this would be a great opportunity for that. Just that, though.
yeah.
But like that, the pattern I'm kind of noticing with the names we've been all throwing out is we've been saying a lot of heels, with the exception of AJ Styles. Like there's a lot of heels, so the expectation would be LA Knight getting that title back.
Well, Andrade is in that
Yeah.
sort of in between role, but he's on the babyface side.
Apollo Crews would be a good welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been using him on TV a lot lately.
I'll even say this: what about Jimmy Uso?
That would be
I
fantastic.
could get behind that too. A Nakamura Jimmy Uso match would be great. LA Knight and Jimmy Uso would also be great as well.
How ironic would it be if like Jimmy Uso of all people came to help LA Knight, given their history,
right?
Sure.
What about a potential Jey Uso move to SmackDown?
I'm on the fence if I want to see them back on the same show or not. Not gonna lie.
I think no matter what, you are going to wind up with one version of the bloodline on each show.
Here's my thing. Do we really need it at this point? Or could we take a nice little break away from it?
I think what we could do is get that break, because if you, let's say you move the OG bloodline to Raw, you can let them all do their own thing and come together as needed.
Actually, here's another one, and this is an expected name moving to SmackDown. Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another Sami and Nakamura match? Give me that all day, every day. And Bubba, I've got Nakamura taking the win in this one.
Logic says Nakamura, and not because I'm wearing a shirt, but Hart wants LA Knight. I think the momentum is better for LA Knight right now.
What's interesting about our list of possible people to challenge for the U.S. title is we didn't even think about like anybody from NXT who could come in and do the challenge as well. Like we look at like Trick Williams would be a great opportunity for him to come in and challenge.
Ooh, yes, the submission by LA Knight.
Ooh,
almost like an inverted Boston Crab.
Oh, I think Nakamura's looking for the Kinshasa. And he's...
Foot on the ropes after the Kinshasa. LA Knight keeps himself in the match. Kind of not exactly the smoothest transitions there.
No.
No, that
Looked more like
it was
communicational error going on than anything. And LA Knight hitting the BFT, but can he make the cover? That is.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu getting involved, taking out LA Knight.
And this is the second time we're seeing them tonight. Or at least I'm seeing them tonight.
Yeah.
And now Cody and Jimmy out there.
I'm assuming Cody is medically cleared.
I got to assume because this is the third brawl he's gotten into tonight.
And he's, pun intended, full gear.
Okay. You called it earlier, Best.
I said it was going to happen. So we're getting Jimmy and Cody later on tonight against Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
Could this be the night where we see someone added to what we once known as Solo's bloodline?
Potentially.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay,
Because
so this background music is already getting to me.
Just don't listen to it?
Yeah, I was going to say regarding the somebody showing up to help Solo's bloodline. We still don't know when Hikuleo is supposed to be showing up. So,
Yeah, but apparently he was supposed to be going to NXT right off the bat along with Lance. So who knows?
well, in the words of Dave Meltzer, plans change.
Yep.
Because, he's all credible and all.
Right.
Yeah, that's that's why I keep saying that, because he says that every time he's wrong. Now, the one thing I'm looking forward to in this upcoming segment is just what kind of a reaction are we going to get out of Nia Jax?
Pissed off. Probably somebody who's isn't in the mood to talk, probably just wants to go and fight. And that's my thing, is like, always just put yourself in the position of that person. What would you do if you were Nia Jax? You had a win last week against Naomi, and the one person who swore that they were never going to cash on you helped you out. You think everything's good, and then when your back's turned, boom, attack.
Yeah.
Boom. And now all of a sudden you're no longer women's champion, and you got to hear all this stuff about Tiffy time, all this about Tiffany Stratton's title celebration. You think Nia Jax gives a you-know-what
Right.
about Tiffany Stratton at this point? No. I have a feeling this is going to be a Saturday Night's Main Event match, if not a Royal Rumble match.
I was just going to say the same thing. I have a feeling that this is going to be settled or started or kicked off, whatever, at Saturday Night's Main Event. But is this where we potentially see the return of Charlotte?
I think Charlotte's either going to return at the Rumble, or I think she could be part of the Jade Cargill situation.
Yeah.
As I will just put, as I had to type into the Instagram thing. Anybody who's watching on my Instagram, hey, thank you and welcome. But also, your comments will not be shown on StreamYard where we do these broadcasts. So if you want your comments shown, please direct yourself to either one of Turnbuckle Studios' Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch accounts, or even my X account where this is all being played. Instagram, for whatever reason, is the only one that does not show up.
That's so strange to me.
It's just based on how different it's formatted. You have to...
Yeah.
So. So we're getting the highlights of Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia Jax last week and becoming the new Women's World Champion.
I swear, I thought they said the Tiffy time stuff was coming up next.
So did I.
Still could. Next is still tonight.
That's true.
But it's time to raise your fist.
It is.
I can only wonder what Carl Anderson feels like when it's like, oh, man, I couldn't use him the machine gun nickname, but now it's on there.
I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you.
He probably doesn't care, but
No.
I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm.
It was something I even thought of when all three of them were in Impact together.
Yeah, I mean, and then
But really, he hasn't used the machine gun name in a long time.
Pretty much since he left Japan.
well, yeah, because when he left Japan, they went to WWE, who did not want that being used,
Yeah.
and then didn't go back to it. He was actually referred to it in AEW and in Impact, but he never really officially used it as part of the moniker.
He's always been now a good brother.
Yeah.
Speaking of them, where have they been lately?
Well, Carl Anderson had surgery just a couple months ago, so he'll be out for about, I think, probably 4 to 6 more months.
Okay, so in that situation, I'm gonna guess they're keeping Luke Gallows off TV then for that time.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Well, they also had it written into their contracts that if they were coming back, if they weren't being used, don't bother bringing them to the show.
Right, and too, like they also have their podcasts as well, so I'm sure like they're just staying busy. And when they will be used, when they're all both healthy, I'm sure they'll be used.
Yeah,
and give them the time. So go ahead.
Gallows has his tattoo studio. They have their whiskey and bourbon.
And I was just gonna say, if the wheels align at around the same time for both Anderson and AJ, why not do that? Especially now with more trios. Like if you're gonna run with Tama and Jacob, and whether it is Solo, whether it is anyone else.
Right.
I mean, that could be a really fun throwback, especially with all the Bullet Cup references. And then you can always add Finn Balor there with the transfer window. So,
yep. And as you just touched on, and I know we've seen it before with all of these trios, would you anticipate a trios title?
no.
No.
I don't think there is a need for another championship anytime soon for WWE. Not to mention, I think right now you're probably focused on just bringing back the tag team division as a whole on both brands.
Right.
Yeah.
If you were to bring in a trail, then you almost have to put that to the side to focus on more of a trails division,
Right.
which we know would replace a lot of tag team matches. And I think a lot of people would get pretty upset with that over time.
And not to mention, we're in the midst of 2 new titles being introduced, so I kind of
Right.
you kind of want to build those belts up right now.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
But they are safe.
I wouldn't expect, in the next 3-4 months, but I'm thinking 8 months, 9 months, a year down the road.
Yeah, I just don't think it's sufficient at this point. But also, like, they introduced women's singles titles as something completely different in both genre and in circumstance. So I don't think there's correlation there.
Right.
There might be in the sense of we just maybe too much, but I don't think like a trails title would take away from the women's title being introduced. I think if anything, it would help complement it a little bit because it is bringing you something different. So like both would set aside, but at the same time, I still believe if you have trails titles, you're pushing your one set of your tag titles to the side. I just don't think that's a smart idea.
so when it comes to this match, I'm definitely expecting a Machine Guns win in this match.
Okay. Try and get some of the momentum back.
I do too, but I also would not be surprised to see DIY involvement to prevent that as well.
Right. Yeah, because you've got that history there from Gargano and that. And I wouldn't be surprised. And I think that Theory and Waller need to get some momentum back, and they need that win. And again, it's helping to reestablish that tag team division. And then if you're going to get A-Town Down Under versus Los Garza in a potential #1 contenders match.
Grayson Waller's gear is finally starting to grow on me. For a while, I didn't really like it, but it's starting to grow on me now.
I've never had an issue with his gear.
I think I like the fact that he's doing a lot less baggy shorts and he's doing more short.
Right.
Like it's more short / tight in a way. It's
as opposed to like a boxer's shorts.
Yeah, like he had a lot more of the boxers style where it's a little looser, it's a little bit more baggier, and he's kind of like trimmed it up, but I like it because it kind of suits him, but almost it kind of helps him evolve a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then also complements Austin Theory's look as well. And makes him look a little bit more in sync.
I was going to say they look a little bit more coordinated with their gear tonight.
That was a shot before we went away.
Looked like one of the shots I saw AJ Sanchez deliver to Matt Powers last night. Still, it was a fantastic show. And anybody out there, if you're ever up in Canada and you see the CWE coming through wherever you are, I highly recommend going and checking them out. But I think that since we're in a commercial break right now, why don't we check out what's going on with the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program? Take a look, guys.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we got total non-stop action with Brace for Impact at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat.
Yeah, that's all the fantastic programming we've got at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And OMD still has the loop, either that or he's muted.
I was muted. This is the one video that is actually playing with no lag.
Interesting. Interesting.
Parrish looking like he's got something up his sleeve there.
I don't have sleeves.
But back to the action, and what has been actually a rather enjoyable tag team matchup here.
It's a great emphasis just on the SmackDown titles, or tag titles too. Like just seeing a couple tag matches. Yes, I know people are probably a little bit bored of the whole like tournament style of how you get a number one contender. But what this does bring you is a couple of not only tag team matches, but also gets 4 tag teams that aren't
Right.
the champions on the show, so you can get behind them and gives you an opportunity to choose
Right.
who are your who is your tag team, because not everybody's going to be a fan of the same tag team. So
No. And especially I'm going to use the tag team division here. Would you be interested? It's something we haven't seen in quite some time in this industry, but I don't want to call it a ranking system, but sort of an order of contention.
I'm not sure if it would work because it really didn't work when they tried to bring it back under when Daniel Bryan was the GM.
I will say what I would do is I would think about doing the tag team titles inside the Elimination Chamber again.
Yeah, because you could take the 4 teams we're watching tonight, maybe plus the Street Profits and DIY, and there's a match right there.
Yep.
I'd do you one better. I would do 6 teams. Neither one are the champions. That tag team has its shot on which tag titles they can challenge for at WrestleMania.
I like it.
So in that sense, you could probably do like say 3 teams from SmackDown, 3 teams from Raw, and there you go.
Yep.
Whoever wins, they can choose which brand they want to challenge for.
Yeah, and if you really wanted to, I'd even open the gates to NXT. So
yeah.
I mean, I think something along the lines of maybe introducing a match where you kind of could have a Royal Rumble-esque type, but it's more for tag teams. And I'm not saying a Royal Rumble for tag teams, although that is a possibility, but something along the lines of a match where maybe you do see that.
Yeah.
Would it also be feasible to do a tag team Money in the Bank?
I mean, I've been wanting something like that for a while. I think something along the lines that are just there for the tag team and only the tag team division, I think would be nice and beneficial.
Although it's probably a little too many in terms of competitors. What about a tag team scramble?
That would be fun to see. And that's actually one match concept I want to see come back to the WWE.
Yeah. Well, we have it in NXT with the Iron Survivor Challenge.
I mean, if you really want to, if you had, I think I have an idea. You could do a Royal Rumble type-esque match, but you only have 15 teams. As soon as one member is eliminated, the other one can join in that match. So you would not be able to have 2 members of the same team inside the match. So it's almost like you're playing that video game and you have that second life.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
So if one guy kind of runs the gauntlet, then awesome. But it also could bring a lot of different ways too, because imagine if that's a way like a tag team breaks up.
Right.
A way for a tag team to turn could be something along the lines of so many different things.
And there it is. The Motor City Machine Guns taking the win on this one.
Yes, in a fantastic match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody here is surprised by this outcome.
No.
No.
It was stated by by Grayson Waller that maybe they moved to Raw. This could be maybe their farewell from SmackDown.
Right.
And yeah, so I don't know. It could be it'd be very interesting. Again, like I do wonder, and it's very similar to Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. It is speculated that Drew McIntyre could be going to SmackDown, so having him lose on Raw kind of could make sense in that form. And I 100% expect Drew McIntyre to make an appearance in that tag team match, alongside maybe Kevin Owens as well.
I wonder what's up Apollo's sleeve with this whole messing around with the tag team division. Like, is he going to bring somebody in that's going to be his tag team partner at some point, or what?
Could be maybe just what his new gimmick could be also, and just happens to work in the tag team chaotic scene right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's got me intrigued, just wondering what his intentions are with this whole thing,
Sound like a father. I want to know what your intentions are with my tag team division.
Right. All right, guys, if you will give me a moment.
That's an OMD locker room visit.
Are you going to flop till you stop? The piss that we cannot miss.
That's okay. Pepper will take over OMD's spot here.
It's the crap sponsored by the Tap. That's right, the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, where you can check out more from them at our good old-fashioned affiliation program .my.canva.site. And that will lead you to many things, including a certain Redbubble, carlkerfell.redbubble.com, where you can go and pick up your good old-fashioned locker room t-shirt, whether it's locker room visit, whether it's a Carl Carafell shirt, whether it is Chris Best merchandise, whether it is a Chris Parrish merchandise, or a Bubba Deuce That's right. Oh, I can't forget about you. A plethora of goodies are available at carolcarafil.redbubble.com.
I'm also like, just because I'm seeing the Street Profits, I'm actually kind of surprised that we haven't seen them tonight. And I kind of thought they would have gotten involved in at least one of the tag team matches or something like that.
Well, they could also be one of those teams that maybe are part of their transfer window.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll see more of that down the road. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is something going to be going on with the Street Profits sometime soon. What that is, I mean, we just have to tune in and find out. Show's also not over, so we might see them.
Yeah, and that's the other question that's on my mind too, is we still don't know who attacked them some weeks ago, or did we ever find that out?
I think Apollo Crews is the one that said it was Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
So we have a couple nicknames that
Okay.
I threw up when you left. We got to find out which one you like, Meth. So it's the crap sponsored by the Tap Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
Jesus.
The flop till you can't stop, or the piss that we cannot miss.
Well, we got to go with the piss you can't miss.
And right now it is Tiffy time. wasn't really anticipating Bailey to come out during this thing.
Just a collection of the women's locker room coming out putting their stake on whether or not they should be the one to take that championship away from Tiffany Stratton.
Right? And each one of them actually can lay their claim on this title.
Wow.
Wade Barrett's right. It's a good thing they are all in their ring gear.
Yes.
Just what a fancy way for that to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, only if Tamatonga and Jacob Fatu were in the ring gear, maybe they would be having an impromptu right now match.
Yep.
See, people, that's how you get the main event slot. Just don't be ready.
Right.
Ooh, I got another one. OMD's streaming services. OMD, go with the flow. I am waiting for the internet to find these videos and to make some hilarious memes out of them.
Right?
Right.
So we have 2 more matches that we know for sure, whether it's a tag match, which is most likely going to be the main event. We have
Yeah.
this fatal 4-way match. Are there any other matchups that we know about?
Those are the only ones that have been announced or that were announced during the show. Because we already saw the matches that were announced before the show as well, which was both U.S. title matches.
Yes.
Fatal 4-way has started, and Nia Jax is seemingly taking control before getting piled on by the needless to say, I think I have Nia Jax winning in this match. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm going with her too. As much as I think a Bailey and Tiffany Stratton match would feel like a fresh feud, Nia and Tiffany is also a fresh feud.
Yeah, and I have to think Candice LeRae is probably going to get involved in some way or form here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not like counting out Naomi or Bianca Belair, but they've got the women's tag titles. I don't think they should be getting a shot
No.
at the women's title anytime soon. Even though Naomi got it last week.
I think if she doesn't go to Raw, I think somebody that I would like to see Bailey maybe kind of have a program with would be Miss Davenport. And I think that wouldn't be such a bad person to maybe cost her an opportunity for this title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We haven't seen Blair Davenport in quite some time, so it's interesting to know where she is.
Well, the last time we did see her was in the United States tournament. So, yeah, it'd be quite interesting to see kind of what they do have.
Well, I was going to say so that now that Nia Jax is out of the picture, we're getting ourselves a little triple threat match, but that's not the case right now.
Nope. Now, do we see any champions change brands during the transfer window?
I wouldn't be shocked. But at the same time, which ones would that be?
Right.
Because something tells me they're not going to move Cody off SmackDown. That's going to be your workhorse.
Okay.
On SmackDown. I can't see them moving a United States title over to Raw if you're not bringing the United States women's title over. And I can't see that happening because you still have yet to determine who's your Intercontinental Champion. So I think maybe, just maybe, the titles maybe are safe.
Right. I do know that one of the prominent names I heard early on when this transfer window was announced was Gunther moving to SmackDown.
Yeah, and lately the rumors are that he will be defending his title at WrestleMania against potentially a Logan Paul. And if that's to be any way, Logan Paul is on Raw, so he would then have to remain on Raw, as I don't think anybody has Logan Paul winning the Royal Rumble.
No, but that would mean that Logan Paul could be winning the Elimination Chamber.
That doesn't necessarily mean that the number one contender is going to be in the Elimination Chamber, though.
No.
But what I was going to say is I'm actually surprised that because I was hoping to see it tonight, but I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see any women announce their intention to enter the Women's Royal Rumble.
There's still a lot of time for that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something we'll probably start seeing Monday. But I was going to say, could we potentially see, because I do have Damian Priest actually changing brands as a surprise. Could we see Rhea and Tiffany trade places?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you want Rhea to be that dominant force on Raw with the Netflix move. That's probably one of the main people that Netflix probably wanted. Not to mention, when you look at the correlation between the titles, Rhea's and Gunther's are twins, right?
Yeah.
So are Cody's and now Tiffany's.
Yes.
Again, with the same rationale between the women's US and men's US, women's Intercontinental, men's Intercontinental. I completely expect those titles to stay with each other.
Yeah.
On the same brand. That's almost in a nutshell why I'm not a big fan of doing the same thing.
Right.
I would have maybe a little bit more identity, I guess, for each championship, but at the same time, I get it. But I also see the limitations that could eventually have. I think two people too, like Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, I very well could see also being people that could move over to SmackDown. Yeah. Do I think Seth Rollins and CM Punk are done? No, but I don't see a rush to do match 2.
No.
Anytime soon. Although I would not be shocked if they do have another match, say at WrestleMania. But
yeah,
I think more now. I'm more locked into hoping to see maybe Gunther versus CM Punk for the title instead of CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And I still think we might see Seth Rollins completely flip after taking that loss to CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we see kind of like the videos, however, we see one with AJ Styles. That's one match for CM Punk I want to see one more time, and that is CM Punk versus AJ Styles. Anybody
Yeah.
I think knows their history, they were the ones that pretty much helped put the Ring of Honor Pure Championship on the map.
Yep.
They were the finals, which I believe that was won by AJ Styles at the time.
I believe so.
I think so.
And then, so it's just absolutely incredible chemistry between those two, and they are definitely different now, but I would love to see one last match
Yep.
between them. Now we'll be 3 weeks tomorrow away from the Royal Rumble. Who are your guys' predictions for both the men and women's?
Oh, geez. That's a good question because the men's Royal Rumble is shaping up to be very interesting. I think I'm going to go with Punk on the men's.
Okay.
And for the women's, what the hell? I'm going to go with Becky for the women's.
Okay. For the men's, I'm going Cena. Cena, and for the women, I think it's going to be it's probably going to be Nia. She just seems to be on that roll, has that momentum. And this is just going to be another feather in her cap.
Actually, I'd like to change my women's. I'm going to go Liv, actually, with that one.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I just don't see her being in the championship picture at WrestleMania. Definitely, I don't see her and Rhea doing anything. I think that chapter's closed.
Yeah.
But who's to say Rhea is even the champion by Mania?
There's no way they're not going to have Rhea going into Mania as champion.
And in fact, for the Royal Rumble, I actually have KO winning the ladder match.
How much of a swerve would it be if Randy was the one who helped them win?
Yeah.
I do have a question in my Instagram saying, what are your guys' thoughts about all the title changes before the Royal Rumble? And I'm going to start off by saying I actually don't mind this. It's getting more of a clear picture of kind of what to expect going into the road to WrestleMania. Not to mention with the Rumble matches themselves. I mean, all it does is tell you kind of who's not in it, right? Like we all know that Gunther, Cody, Tiffany, and Rhea are not going to be partaking in the Rumble matches themselves. But I think that really opens things up. I think I'm okay with it all. Plus, we're still 3 weeks out. We're still
Oh,
I realize that it's all different brands, so the titles don't correlate, but I do think it's a little bit of oversaturation as we have seen it on every brand.
Mhm.
Now I'm okay with it because I do like all of the new champions. It's just a matter of, yes, this is the new way to kick off this new era with, for all of us here in Canada and internationally, everything on Netflix, with in the States with everything on new networks. So I know you're trying to bring new eyes and fresh viewers, but I think it's a little bit of oversaturation. I think if you would have spread this out over the course of January, February, and even into March, you're okay.
I find that like all the titles changes have either escalated the storyline that they were in, or they have completed the storylines that they were in, and because of that, like I don't really find them wrong or even too much, because that kind of just shows you how many stories kind of you're at. Like how many do we get at WrestleMania? We always seem to get a lot of title changes at a WrestleMania
Yeah.
or one of those big shows, and
Yeah.
that question doesn't ever really seem to come up then, because it's really kind of that reset to what's next.
Right.
And I look at this as now we're gearing more of a direct picture on what's to come going into WrestleMania, and I think that's kind of between the new year starting and your last PLE before WrestleMania. That's that's kind of the objective, is to the road is ahead of you. You just can't see what's on that journey,
Right.
and then as you kind of go down, you're getting more and more vision. You're getting more clarity on kind of, hey, these are the turns that you should take. These are the ones that you don't take. These are the things to avoid. These are the things to go forward with. And I think that's just what it is. Do I think the Royal Rumble matches or the PLE is like huge? Absolutely. It's one of the biggest, but at the same time, it does serve a purpose of clearing the mess that is on the road to WrestleMania.
yeah, and I feel like with these title changes, especially in the last month or two, it's shaped out what that first part of 2025 is going to look like as far as the championship scene goes. Yeah, that's especially with Tiffy, with her cashing in on on Nia last week, with Rhea winning over Liv Morgan. That obviously we saw the start of a new feud with Tiffy cashing in. We saw the ending of a feud with Rhea and Liv Morgan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had an inadvertent hair whip from Bianca to Naomi there due to a large assist by Candice LeRae. I really like that spot that they just did.
Mm-hmm.
As a
Oh,
surprise winner, I think.
Wow.
Us.
Yeah.
Bailey is
Interesting.
the one that picks up the win from a rose plant on to Naomi.
Yes. Now, when
So-
do we see that match? Do we see that at Saturday night's main event, or does it go to the Royal Rumble?
Is it even going to make it till then? Could we even see it as early as next week?
Right.
Now I can see where Naomi may be upset with Bianca from that hair whip, because the way they made it look, you obviously saw Candice LeRae jump down before Naomi even noticed she was even up on the apron.
Well, the way they made it looked like Bianca was
Yeah.
foreshadowing that a little bit, but I don't know if that was necessarily a rationale.
Okay, so an interesting confrontation there between Mello and Jimmy Uso.
No. Also, it is being reported that what we saw tonight was the official babyface turn of Tiffany Stratton.
I think the official babyface turn happened a year ago, and it was just never capitalized on.
But as we talked earlier about picks for the Rumble, I definitely think CM Punk is my favorite to still win. And for the women, as much as I don't want it to be somebody that returns, I think it could be. I wouldn't, and I'm somebody that wants to see Charlotte versus Tiffany at WrestleMania. I do like that match. If it's for the title, then I'd have to have Charlotte winning that Rumble. Do I want that? Not really. However, if done right, I wouldn't be against it. But at the same time, I wouldn't. I also like the fact that if it's somebody different, somebody new that hasn't won it, but I'm trying to factor in, if it's not going to be Charlotte, then it'd be somebody going after Rhea and her title.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think who would be the right person for that. And that's where I'm kind of drawing a hard kind of, but
and see, that's where I was going with Liv Morgan winning, because she doesn't necessarily have to challenge Rhea.
I just don't think that she is going to be in the title picture on SmackDown at WrestleMania. But I mean, I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that I do think might have unfinished business with Rhea could be best, who you said, in Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing kind of that repeat from last year, I wouldn't be against it, as I thought their match really was one that people overlook on how good it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, especially hearing after Seth Rollins' interview on Chris Van Vliet just how limited they were in that match, or kind of in that match. I mean, I don't want to say limited, but just how much pain he was kind of.
Yeah.
Just how bad of a shape his knee was going into that match. And we all saw kind of how much of a struggle finishing that night was for Seth But so, I have a feeling it is going to be either one of Becky or Charlotte. And the only person who I would want maybe else is if maybe you have a debuting in WWE Jordan Grace. I think that would be the only time I'd be okay with something like that.
See, and I would be, but at the same time, if she is officially making her debut in that match, I don't want to, again, hot shot her. Now, I do think that she deserves to go to the main roster and not go through NXT. She's been doing that. I would give Jordan Grace that Iron Horse spot, the Iron Woman spot.
See, and I wouldn't be against the hot shot, knowing that you're going into a program with Rhea Ripley. That's going to be a big time match. That's a match that has, I think, every ingredient to be a show stealer. I think it's one of those things that's a completely fresh look. And it would be very intriguing to see kind of how that is developed. But I can also see kind of where you're coming from too. And you want to see more of a natural progression for somebody who just comes in. But I'll also say, who would have been mad if AJ Styles won his first match, the Royal Rumble, years back?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have been upset.
So it is next week for Bayley.
Score one for this guy. Actually, that would be more than one because I did say Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu would get involved in that U.S. match.
Yeah. Now, could we see potentially an Io Sky or a Kairi Sane go in and pull off that win?
I would not be against Io Sky winning the Royal Rumble. Would not be against that at all. And next Friday, we also have Los Garza versus Machine Guns. I think that was expected.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is where I think the winner of those two will become like the number one contenders to DIY's tag team titles.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of the kind of what Nick Aldis kind of more or less did was kind of did that. And we also have Solo Sikoa returning to SmackDown. That one is interesting because we don't know what's going to be there. Does he officially acknowledge Roman Reigns as that was part of the agreement?
That it was. Not gonna lie, I kind of enjoy Jacob Fatu's theme.
Right?
But they gave me a lot of vibes of what Tama Tonga's kind of theme was too. I wonder Like, especially the entrance and the fire. I remember Tama Tonga having that. Even in that graphic, too, we saw the fire in the Tama Tonga name mark. I think they just maybe combined.
That's what I'm thinking about, thinking too.
Took the visual of the entrance with the music and the Titantron
Of Jacob Fatu's.
yeah. Now I'm kind of brainstorming something. What happens if next week we do see Solo Sikoa acknowledge Roman Reigns as his tribal chief? And we kind of see that as a wake-up call to to Jacob Fatu, who does not agree with what Solo does.
Right.
Then saying, I no longer love you, Solo. And we could see Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu kind of turn on Solo Sikoa.
Right.
We also got to factor in Drew McIntyre in that situation too. Because remember, a couple of weeks ago, he said, once I get through everybody, I'm going after you. And he said that to Solo.
But he hasn't gone through everyone yet.
No, he hasn't.
But I do think we'll see either Drew McIntyre or Kevin Owens or a combination of both in this tag match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they were both quoted as saying, watch your back just last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them kind of in cahoots.
Right.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised to see them with an attack after the match to set up Cody and Jimmy next week versus KO and Drew in a tag match.
I wonder if this is kind of going into a Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Drew, and Kevin Owens versus a Roman, Solo, Jimmy, Cody type of scenario.
Maybe. Ten-man tag at WrestleMania?
Oh, God, no. God, no. I would not. A, I'm not waiting that long for it. 2, I am not putting Roman Reigns in an 8 or 10-man tag at WrestleMania. To me, Roman Reigns is in one of 3 matches. He's either going up against The Rock, he's either going up against CM Punk, or I have him going up against Drew McIntyre.
Well, the big one that I have been hearing of late is Roman and Punk.
Yeah.
With The Rock appearing at WrestleMania, but officially not competing.
But I don't think anybody really has a firm idea of what Rock's role in WrestleMania is going to be.
Yeah.
In fact, it all could just be smoke and mirrors up until that final word from Final Pause.
At the same time, do we now maybe need closure on the trilogy of Rock and Cena at Mania?
No, we're so far removed from that.
I'll give you one better. I'd rather see CM Punk and John Cena at WrestleMania than Rock and John Cena. Hell, I'd rather see Rock versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Here's one that I want to see, and I don't think anybody has this penciled in their thought. I would love to see The Rock versus Drew McIntyre.
That's an interesting match right there.
Drew McIntyre said he wants to go through everyone in the bloodline. Well, who
Yep.
also has teamed up with Roman Reigns?
Yep.
The Rock.
Yep.
Why does he get a pass?
Probably because he wasn't involved in the fact that they screwed Drew at Clash at the Castle.
No, but who knows? Maybe it was Rock's plan all along. Maybe Drew McIntyre blames The Rock for what his family has done to him and says, if you're the final boss, then you're my final boss to sleep. Because just on Monday, he's the one who put the Ulafala around Roman's neck.
Yes, he is.
We have Cody Rhodes versus Tama Tonga to start this match. I like the fact that we're getting more of a showcase of Tama Tonga in kind of everything.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying everything he's done tonight. So that's a question I've been trying to figure out. And I'm kind of like thinking along the lines of like fantasy booker here, but how would you guys turn Cody heel if it ever came down to that?
I think, in all honesty, it would just be probably organic if he has really a longer reign than is needed. And I think, if not at the Rumble, then at WrestleMania, that belt does change. And I think if it continues on beyond that, I think the fans are just going to get tired of it.
Okay, but that still wouldn't turn Cody heel.
Well, he's kind of saying like if the fans organically start booing him because they're repelling kind of him as a champion, maybe that like the fans are not wanting him to be their face anymore. I think it just honestly takes the right person. And you can really be simple about it. Like when you look to see how CM Punk turned heel when he was champion, all he did was change targets, right? Instead of going after a Big Show, he went after a Dwayne Johnson, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be as simple as just changing your target. Now, if and when that time comes where Cody Rhodes has to go that route, I think you're going to see the right person, and I think you're going to see the right circumstance. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. And I think,
oh no, me neither. But I was just trying to paint a fantasy scenario in my head, you know.
And I think there's two right scenarios in this, and that would be, and I know we're looking at him potentially turning already, but I think if you have Cody do for Seth Rollins what he did for KO and do the same thing. Or you have this newly returned babyface Roman Reigns and you have Cody do that. And have Cody start targeting Roman and the bloodline.
I mean, you guys use Roman Reigns as an example. I think you could very well use Randy Orton in that same scenario as well.
Yeah.
Although I do think we're probably going to get Randy Orton turn on Cody instead of Cody turning on Randy, but that's something that's there. In fact, when CM Punk was champion, he was almost about to get his own mercenary group that ended up being what we now know as the Shield. Roman, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. I would not be against doing something in a similar impact. Not necessarily the same idea, not necessarily the same way, but something in the same impact where you're taking potentially new faces to the scene and putting them as his protectors of the championship. And he, instead of fighting for that next shot or opportunity, he's taking the easier way out.
Hey, Joe, good to see you, brother. How we doing?
Yeah, and see, and to bunk off Parrish's idea, as soon as you thought of that, I thought of guys in NXT that he could bring up, and I thought of maybe Ethan Page, Lexus King, guys he actually brought to the company, you know?
Well, that's the beauty of it. It could just not. It might not even be guys now, like in the even in the company. Like, down the road, it could be maybe potential free agents like a Josh Alexander.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Parrish.
Okay.
But yeah, like Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, the North, right?
Yeah.
Although I would love to pair those guys up with Kevin Owens.
See, Bubba and I discussed this the other night on Brace for Impact because you have that history, and I almost want to keep them away from each other. Again, I don't think Josh Alexander needs to go to NXT.
Mm-mm. This would be my way of bringing Ethan Page up to a Raw or SmackDown.
Right.
However, I wouldn't hate Josh Alexander in NXT for a little bit of time.
Right.
Because some of the matches would be pretty good in there.
But I want to suggest maybe another guy that hasn't been used in quite some time elsewhere, again, who has history with Cody, and that's Scorpio Sky.
Mm-hmm. So you just say that name, and Best, you're asking about why Apollo's doing something with the tag team. Imagine if they bring in Scorpio Sky to pair up with Apollo Crews as a tag team.
Yeah, I would love that.
But then this is also something that I was thinking. Imagine if we kind of go back to the Canada-American thing, and we have Kevin Owens having his Canadian family, and then maybe Cody Rhodes turns to American-made, and we have Gable. We have the Creed brothers, Ivy Nile. What happens if we get, say, Kevin Owens, Paige and Alexander, Sami Zayn, bring in Chelsea Green?
Yeah. Another one you could go with is a man who was once hailed from Russia. What about bringing Rusev back as Cody's muscle?
To add to the Canadian contingent, you can even bring Sean Spears in.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Sean Spears will be moving off of NXT anytime soon.
No, based off the stuff I heard him say on Chris Van Vliet, he's extremely happy in NXT right now.
I mean, obviously plans could change. And I don't think he'd. I think if he was asked or said, we're going to bring you up to a Raw or SmackDown and you're going to be traveling, I don't think he's saying no to it. I think he's just reveling in the circumstance he's in now, because I fully expect Sean Spears to, whenever the time comes where he does have to hang up the boots, I think he's going to fit right in as a producer or an agent or something like that from the scenes of WWE.
I would almost be intrigued to see Sean Spears, if he and his group were to be called up, feud with the Wyatts.
Well, the group right now is kind of just getting off to a start, right? So kind of want to wait a little bit on that one, right? But right now, we are getting a extremely entertaining tag team match right now.
We are.
Oh, there you go. Roman Reigns will compete in the Royal Rumble. So we got another big hitter in the Rumble match there.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think, when was the last time Roman Reigns was in the Rumble match? That has to be, 2019, 2018?
Probably.
The last one I remember was the 2019 when Randy Orton won.
Okay. I was going to say, what year was it that he wrestled and had to defend the title in the Rumble and lost to Triple H, who entered at number 30?
That was 2016.
Yeah.
Wow.
That match gave us an amazing match between Triple H and Dean Ambrose at Roadblock 2 that year.
Yeah.
Yep.
To me, that was kind of the welcome to the party, Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, because was it later that year that Dean Ambrose won the Money in the Bank and cashed in later that night?
I believe so.
Yes, because Roman got the title back. Seth Rollins then came back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
And
then they had
yeah. because he came back. Wasn't it not Roman versus Ambrose for the title? That's when Rollins came back.
Yeah, but Rollins came back after the match.
Yeah. I know.
Agreed, Roman.
But then that sets up Rollins versus Reigns at Money in the Bank, to where Ambrose won and then cashed it in on Rollins, who beat
Reigns for the title that night.
Who beat Reigns, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember thinking, like, hey, all three members of the Shield held the title in one night. Okay, so now Jimmy's left fending on his own.
Is this where Carmelo Hayes maybe does something with Jimmy instead?
That's a possibility, given what happened between them before the match.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Melo wants to make a statement, I mean, why not go in and try and take out Jimmy, you know? Well, that's going to do it for that match.
Yep.
Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga pulling out the win, and I kind of expected that they were going to pull off this win. Sort of a rebound for the new bloodline with this victory. But right now we've got KO and Cody brawling all over the arena.
Yep.
And both men going crashing through that table there.
Yep.
Tables.
Yes.
Tables.
And I'm firmly believing that Devon Dudley set those tables up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to do it for SmackDown. As
Yes.
we're getting all rights reserved. Cody Rhodes being the first one up to his feet.
Yep.
But still looking pretty dazed.
But just to kind of give us a little bit more of a antsy feel for their ladder match at the Royal Rumble, where graphics finally show both not only the Winged Eagle but also Cody's real World Heavyweight Undisputed Championship. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of what they do next week and the weeks after, and how they kind of keep this momentum kind of going, because they can't just, well, maybe they can just beat each other up every time they get, but you have to think something along the lines of something has to come in. That's where I kind of think I would have at least a tag match. And I always like the old-fashioned style of maybe the Friday before the Rumble, we see a tag match where maybe Kevin Owens gets the pinfall on Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of get in the head, have those little mind games. I kind of want to see something along those lines.
I think that's a cool idea too, but I was thinking along the lines of maybe Nick Aldis comes out next week and says, "Hey, if you guys end up brawling again, the match is off." So he enforces a no touch rule between the two men.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
That's
You're going to do
3
that
weeks
for
with no physical contact.
Yeah.
Why not? We've done it before in the Attitude Era several times over.
That's what we're. I don't know. I think that's going to kill their momentum, though. I think you have to do something on the SmackDown at the very least, the SmackDown before the Rumble, though. That's why. I think you could do it for a couple weeks and be like, hey, if you can keep your hands off each other for a couple weeks, what I will do is I'll put you in the same ring the day before the Rumble. The final SmackDown, and the one and the only ways they can get their hands on each other is by a legal match. I'm just trying to find common ground to come.
Yeah,
because I think the last time I remember that rule being instituted was the build to Austin and Triple H in the 3 Stages of Hell match in No Mercy in 2001, I think it was. There was they put together a no touch rule unless they were in a match against one another. So like if Austin and Triple H were in tag team matches, you know. So we can definitely come to terms on an agreement with that there.
Yeah, and I know they aren't really in a. They don't seem to put the people in a match before, and I kind of miss that because I always thought that was a great way of just getting in the minds for it. Like you don't have to do a big beat down, you don't have to do anything like that. You can just have imagine if Kevin Owens pins Cody Rhodes on that SmackDown leading in. He holds up not just the Winged Eagle, but maybe he does that iconic step on Cody's title while holding up the Winged Eagle. What?
Yeah.
Just a visual going into the Royal Rumble and just how much that could be in the mind of Cody Rhodes. As this time, now going in the Rumble, he doesn't have to pin you to win the title. You don't have to pin him to keep yours. This is a completely different mind. Like, it's such a good mind, right? So
yeah. And what a throwback that would be too, because didn't KO do that to John Cena?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's kind of something that I'm like waiting to see again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
but
the
all in
prize
all,
fighter, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of like that's kind of where I feel like his gimmick is going back to,
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, boys, what did you overall think of the show tonight?
Solid show, top to bottom. I know I missed the first 20 minutes or so, but you can't go
watch
wrong
the first 20 minutes now.
Yeah, exactly. But fantastic show all the way around.
Yeah, and I think you got a lot of kind of the what's next kind of questions out there. What was next for the tag team titles? Okay, well, what we saw was a pair of tag team matches to determine, how do we go from 4 teams wanting a title shot down to 1, and then through 2 tag matches we have one last one. Winners get that title shot. Let the people fight each other and determine it in the ring. And then you also have the same thing going on with the women's championship, right?
Yep.
Who comes out of that? We found out it's Bayley. Bayley gets that first crack at Tiffany Stratton next week. So we kind of get that, what's next in that sense. this looks like it's more of a short term than anything, but it also saves us from that eventual Nia Jax versus Tiffany match, which I do think should be kind of preserved for the time being. And then we saw that conclusion with Michin and Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
That rubber match. And now we all know that Chelsea Green, she's up 2-1 on Michin. Do they keep going that route, or do they, again, have something else? Stated by Grayson Waller earlier, the transfer window not closed. So we don't have a finale yet on that.
No.
So maybe, just maybe, we see some more movement within the next week, and then we see some kind of what's next there. And then obviously with Roman Reigns entering the Rumble, we saw Solo Sikoa returning next week to SmackDown, and just kind of, what's he going to do? Will he acknowledge Roman? Will he not? A lot of questions, a lot of answers, and a lot of good storytelling, as we have David Valentine coming in saying, Zilla Fought 2's dad is a manga, the Samoan bulldozer. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, David. But yeah, I felt the show was a good, solid show. Good first outing for Netflix up here in Canada. The Michin Chelsea Green match, I do feel like there is going to be a continuation of that feud because of the way the match ended with Chelsea grabbing the tights of Michin. And then we saw Piper Niven attack her at the end. I'm very intrigued to see who goes forward in the tag team. It's sort of a tag team tournament, I guess you could say, but there is number one contender implications in there that I believe will happen. So yeah, a very, very solid show. I very much enjoyed it, and I'm actually rewatching it right now.
Nice. Yeah, I think with this transfer window still being open, I don't think it's going to close really until the Rumble.
Unless they come out and say something. That's kind of it's weird because I think we're under the influence that it was going to be done by the time they were on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
But now maybe it's just more of something that got the kind of the back seat. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Do we see new faces next week, or do we see some maybe new faces that we haven't seen in a while making a return? I think this is kind of that season now to see if we're going to get someone. We know we're going to get a new face or two on Monday. So,
yep.
Yeah, we are.
So,
but on that note, I think it's time to give out them socials, starting with you, OMD.
Let's do it. People, you can find me on my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMDShow. Visually, you can catch me right back here Sunday night at 8 p.m. when the Boar's Nest Gaming Hour comes live. And I will be with Bubba Duke.
All right. And how about you, Mr. Parrish?
well, I mean, as a broken record, we have another Linktree to announce, and that is my Linktree at Chris Parrish, where you can follow all my beautiful socials, the 5 in particular, even though they're all something you should like, follow, and subscribe to. But the 5 to follow for the Chris Parrish podcast every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time are the Instagram, the X account, the Facebook, the Twitch, and the YouTube. And then you can also see the Spotify, which also gives you an opportunity to check out the Chris Parrish podcast, all previous ones, that is. And then you can also go and check out my sponsor in Beercade, YEG. That's right, located on 105 82nd Ave. You can check out Beercade YEG in person as they are bringing you the Royal Rumble live on February 1 as well. So make sure you book your tables now, and you can check them out on Beercade White on Instagram, on their Facebook, Beercade White, or Beercade YEG on the X.
And
All right,
you,
now
Mr.
for
Matt.
myself, you can find me at my Linktree, which is You can find me at my Linktree, which is linktr.ee/Chris_best83. Where you will find me next is tomorrow night doing what could very well be the final episode of The Last of Us 2 for Saturday Night Gaming. And on that note, OMD, what are those famous words we like to go on?
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle affiliation, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you got